Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I see Facebook is working well today, and let us right in. Hi, I'm Judy Best, and this is our Facebook show, Your Best Year Ever. We are all hoping that 2020 is our best year ever, and so that's what we're talking about this year on this show. Today, we're talking about working well with your spouse or partner. We know lots of men and women are working with their spouses or um, the person that they cohabit with, their partner, and they're trying to find their way in it. And we've been doing this for a lot of years, so we've got some tips for you. So we hope you'll join in. If you're watching by live, drop a comment in and let us know where you're watching from. Tell us who you're working with. And if you're watching on replay, drop a hashtag replay and tell us the same things. We love to read your comments and know that you're participating in our live. Today, I am here with Mary Gardner, who is with Benefit Concepts of Arkansas. And welcome to our show today, Mary.
Thanks, Judy, for inviting me. I work with my husband. My husband and I own a health insurance agency, and we do employee benefits for businesses. And we offer the health insurance, vision insurance, dental, and disability insurances for companies. And we are happy to work with the small business owners as they need to get benefits in place.
Roger's my husband, and we've been working together since 1998, off and on. How long have you been working with Chad?
We have been working together for 2.5 years. I quit my full-time job to go to work with my husband. He was getting busier, and we just thought that would be a good fit to give us some more flexibility. We have a young family. We have 3 kids under the age of 8. I have two twin 8-year-olds and a 6-year-old little boy. And so when they started school, it no longer fit with our schedule of the daycare and aftercare, and all those things started adding up. So we really needed some flexibility. And so we started working together, and that has been the best thing for our family. It's been a really good move for us.
And that's one of the reasons I stopped working for other people, was as our daughter was coming into her high school years. I for sure wanted to be home after school in the high school years. I wanted to hear excitement when it had been a good day, but I also wanted to be there when it had been not a good day and she was kind of sad. And so that was one of the reasons I went into business for myself. I've always worked side by side with Roger, even if we weren't in the same businesses together. We've been in the same businesses. We always co-own them together, just like I know you were.
We co-owned our business for years before, but I didn't actually work.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
So that happens and that works. But when you actually are working together, there can be some challenges. But first, we wanted to share some of the benefits that we've both experienced from working with our spouses and reasons we wanted to take that challenge on. So I know that you grabbed the vision that Chad had for his business, and you wanted to help him grow it. Talk about having that shared vision and goal.
Well, I think it's important. One of the benefits is that you do have mutual vision, mutual goals. For us, we both want to grow our business and do different things with our business that we've not done in the past. And so we can work together. We actually have gone to conferences together and sit down on a regular basis to discuss the budget, which is important. Communication has to be at the heart of it. Of everything we talk about, I think communication is a biggie. But you have to have that shared vision, things that you want to do together. And so by working in a business together, it kind of forces you to communicate what goals are. And I love goals. I'm a nerd. I have goals for every aspect of my life. And so it follows naturally to do so for business. And you're kind of forced to communicate those to the other person, make sure you're on the same page for that year and going in the same direction. And it requires constantly getting back in touch with each other and saying, hey, how are we doing with this? Or, we need to spend more time in this area of the business versus that. and you learn as you go, and you just have to laugh, because you're not gonna agree on all your goals or exactly where you want to go next every time.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be laugh about it, and it puts things back into perspective, and reevaluate what your needs are, because it's constantly shifting. It shifts with different seasons of your life. Right now our kids, require our time in the evenings and throughout the school year. So we have to flex and bend things in the
you still want
summers.
to have those fun family times. So that's part of it. Yeah. And that's part of it, having more time to spend together, more flexible time. One of the reasons I started my first business, Roger came to me and said, I want you to have more free time, flexible time, so that you can travel with me when I'm traveling. And us working together has allowed us to, working toward the same goals, gave us the same celebration times. Does that make sense to you? That we would hit a goal and we were like, yay!
Yay! It gives you momentum. You're going in the same direction as two people and not just alone.
Right.
And so you're going, I think we have gone further together than we were individually.
Right.
And so that's been fun.
Well, and it's fun, those together celebrations. It's one thing I set goals and I achieve goals just like you do, Mary. And I know that that's a huge thing in your life. It's fun when our guys celebrate our victories.
Yes.
But man, when it's a together victory and you can go, oh,
yes,
yay, we celebrated together. And we know that we contributed together toward that victory. It's huge. And the last pro that I wanted to cover is it makes you more fully appreciate each other.
Yeah.
How has that impacted you at all in these 2.5 years?
Well, I'm a total newbie in our field. I'm a new to the insurance industry, and so I have a lot to learn. And so it really helps me appreciate my husband's ability to manage the budget. And he loves spreadsheets and he loves details. And so we've found our flow with working on how, like, what are your strengths versus what are my strengths? He's really loves social media, is really good with social media, but also just the business side of things. And he gets really specific with the numbers and where we need to go, and then the daily operations. But that's a lot. And so I can come in and help supplement that where we need to, and offer, hey, I'll go run this information to these people, or I can call these people or email these people. And then he's able to take care of whatever the pressing needs are. And then just teaches me as we go along, how do you do this part of the business? How do you do that part of the business? And so for me, it's still, I still enjoy learning. We're always learning, but I really am learning a lot because I think I have the most to learn at this point. But I'm looking at things from a different perspective. I think I offer more of a woman's point of view to the business, or, I may be able to see pieces of the pie that we're missing. How are we making sure we're covering this versus that? And I worked in corporate America for 12, 15 years. And so, I remember, different problems that I would see come up. And so I'm able to make sure we're problem shooting different areas that he may not see. So I think we both have strengths that we can bring to the table, and it benefits us as a family, not just another corporation or another company. We're reaping the benefits of whatever skill set we offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's fun because as you work together, we've worked together a lot more years than you guys have. You draw on their strengths, but then you begin having some of their strengths.
That's a good point.
Because Roger was more the person that was always out there networking and connecting with people, and I was that spreadsheet girl. Let me work the numbers. I can plan this. I like to solve a problem, but he is absolutely a detailed person, a number person now.
Oh.
And I am much more of an outgoing person than I was when I was working in corporate world.
And that's news to me because I've met Judy in the networking world.
Yeah,
so
she's only seen me
I'm
like
aware
that.
of your networking skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something that's changed, but we both have those skills now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still probably the more detailed one of the two of us, and he is still the one that is comfortable with every stranger that walks in the room. But that's the way
great.
it is. So let's talk about tips for successfully working with your spouse. I'm going to pop, let me reach over here and get this up. Our first thing we're going to talk about is setting aside business free time. If anyone's watching and you are working with your spouse or your partner, what do you do to have business free time? We used to have a hot tub.
Oh.
And we would go home in the evening and wrap up right before we went to bed, we would go have hot tub time. But we found we were talking about business in the hot tub. Literally, this happened. And night after night, it was like we were not ever winding down. And so we made a rule that when we got in the hot tub, it was never business. It was always, we could talk about the kids, we could talk about
anything
each other,
else.
anything else, but we could not talk
That's
about
funny.
the business. So what have you guys worked through that?
We don't have any trouble separating business. Like we're looking for ways to do other things. But we do have business free time for sure. And because we have little kids, we like to have like afternoon dates. So we'll take a Friday and go hit a happy hour somewhere while the kids are in school, or we'll go to the movies. We'll go to the movies and go during the day and see movies, and it's a lot cheaper than paying for a babysitter, and we love that. And so we will go if there's a movie out we want to watch. We'll go watch a movie.
And we could do that too, because when
dinner.
you're a business owner, you could slip away and get a matinee.
Yes. Yeah, we do that. That's our favorite thing.
Okay, what was it?
But also just lunch together, and not a non-business lunch, just for fun.
Yeah.
And so we have other friends who are kid-free during the day, and so we have a regular Friday lunch time with friends, just without kids, and just to relax and laugh and enjoy. And it makes it nicer for your week to not have to be stressed about business all the time.
Absolutely.
And I think our business has a little bit of built-in ebb and flow. And we know what times we have to be working extra and working more hours versus those times where it's easier. And so, we've actually been able to schedule vacations or holidays away and bring work with us if we need to do work and follow up on work stuff. But we also are able to go on trips, because we have that flexibility. We're not having to use paid time off, PTO, or, you're not having to count your hours and how many days you were away. And also, with kids, it's the flexibility is our number one, my mom's number one piece of it that I like, because if I have a kid that's sick,
have to figure out what to do
I've got
with them.
stuff scheduled, he can come take care of it. If he's got stuff scheduled, I can take care of it. So we just work it out together, and it's so much better.
One of the things we have done is planning vacations away from the business. And literally, we went on our first cruise because we knew that we would have to turn our phones off and put them away. Now people are able to keep their phones on even on the cruises, but we were not able to. And for us, that was like, we would literally be vacationing, going to visit family for a week, and he would be getting calls all day long on his phone because people called his phone for his business. And when we found out you couldn't use your phone on a cruise, we started planning cruises. Even to today, we put our phones away because you need that time away where you're not checking emails and you're not answering your phone.
And to decompress.
Yeah. And it took 7 days. A short trip is not enough for Roger to unwind. I can unwind in a shorter vacation time than Roger can because I can turn it off, but Roger cannot. He needs those 7 days because it takes him about 2 days to get free of it and then relax and really enjoy the vacation and come home recuperated, restored, and ready to recharge and ready to go.
That's good to know.
The one thing I will tell you about taking that time away, we usually came back thinking more creatively, thinking with a different perspective than we had left with, so we were able to solve some problems we hadn't been able to.
That's great.
So yeah, that was one thing. Another thing is you can help each other. It was like you were just sharing about family responsibility.
Yeah, and with any business, there, especially during busy seasons, there's, one person or the other is always underwater, or there's too much to do or more things to do, and we can help each other by taking turns doing things, running information for the other one. Just whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's usually not a big deal, but
Yeah.
if you can take problems off somebody else's plate,
Yes,
it makes your day. Like, I'm so happy when, whenever he's doing things that I need to clear my calendar about. And so it's give and take, and it has to be genuine, and it has to be in the
Yes.
moment. It can't be, well, I did this for you, so now you need to do that
you need
for
to do
me.
that for me.
It
Yeah.
has to go both ways and be completely open, and not in an angry way. You have to really enjoy doing that, and not mind doing it, and just take a little bit of time. It's usually not big things that make a big difference in the other person's day.
Well, and I think with Roger anyway, see, and I can only speak from my perspective into this. I need to do this again with Roger so I can get his perspective on it. But when I see him having a stressful day, I'm sure you do the same thing with Chad, I automatically say, what can I take off your plate today? What can I do that will smooth this out a little bit? How can I help you? And literally, we can go home with less stress and better attitudes because our helpmate was there beside us to lift the load and to reduce the stress. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have that experience?
That's a good tip, actually. I don't know. Like, you can kind of see it, or it through the calendar. I think looking at your calendars, you can know when things are rough.
Yeah.
Because of how full the calendar is real fast. And so sometimes that's an indicator of, hey, I need help with this. And it's just being willing to ask for help and know what your limits are, and when you need help too, to ask for it.
Absolutely. The next one is tied to that, though, but you have to trust each other. That means not overseeing their work. Mm-hmm. None of us got into business to have a boss.
True.
To have somebody that's telling us how to do something. And we're in business for ourselves, and for both of us, our husbands were doing the businesses before we came into them. And it's easy when you come from the corporate world that you have ideas of how to make it better.
True.
And it's good to talk about those and work that way, but no one wants you to come in and change everything, or to all of a sudden be constantly correcting their work. So if I'm doing a task, please don't, as my spouse, Roger, don't come and tell me I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Let me get there in my own way, because it's still right. It's just not the same thing. And same thing for them. And that is a huge thing I would say for anybody that's working with their spouse, is you trust them to get there, and don't correct them all the time.
Yeah. And I don't think that's been a huge issue for us. I think because we do have the trust within the business, and probably because he's been doing it longer than I have, and I just let him do what he needs to do. And then I've had to find my own way and find my own strengths and things that I want to do in order to contribute to the business. And he lets me do my piece of it, and I let him do his bulk of it. And we just find a way to work from there. And trust is, you have to do that. And if you nag at each other or nitpick at each other, then it would not work. So yeah, I think that's a strong given that has to be the foundation for working together. Because if you don't have that, then it's going to be a really, really difficult road. Right. But absolutely, you're not there to work for somebody else. No. You don't want your husband to be your boss, or your wife to be your boss.
Wife to be your boss.
If that's the situation, then that becomes a stressor.
Yeah.
And more, and that, to me, it takes the fun out. And it's like, if that's the case, you can go get a job that you can walk away from and not have to look at 24/7.
Not be stressed out about it. I'm going to skip this next one because we've already talked about it, but I want to remind you that if you want these show notes from us, just drop hashtag show notes in the comments and we'll send it to you, because we've got all these notes written down and we can send them over to you. My next tip is focus on what you want more of. And I know this is something that we've both worked on mindset in the past year, Mary and I, and we've talked a lot about the things that we're learning and stuff. If you focus on what's there that you're unhappy with and you're always complaining about it, you'll get more of that. This is just almost a spiritual rule that what you focus on is what you're going to get more of. So if you're focusing on
any of the negative aspects, like if you're focused on the things you don't agree with or the things that you don't like, those things will continue to happen.
Yes.
And you will continue to see them. And if you're focused on the things that you do like, if you focus on the positive things and state, hey, I really like it when you helped me with that the other day, it saved my life. If you say those things, usually your partner is going to help you do more of those things. And so most of the time, we don't know what the other one wants or needs unless it's said and stated.
Right.
And so I do agree that it's what you focus on is what you will get. And so if you plan in the direction you want to go and almost make an assumption about that happening and take steps in that direction, learn things about the steps you need to grow your business, steps you need to be better at certain aspects of things. If you're making those steps, your business is going to improve. If you're making those steps in your relationship, that relationship will improve.
This is a rule that applies for, you can apply it to just your marriage. Because if you're complaining all the time, you're going to find a reason to get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
If you are praising all the time, you're going to grow closer together. Same with a job. If you are complaining about your job, you are eventually going to have to quit your job or you're going to be a miserable person. But if you find joy, find a way to have joy and happiness and contentment in your job, you will abound. So this is huge when you're working with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Men desire respect. Women desire love. So what we're wanting from each other is different, but just the same. Nothing will make me happier or make me smile more than hearing Roger giving me praise in public when I'm overhearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know he's not saying it to make me feel good because I'm overhearing it, but I know he's sincerely saying it, and I love to hear him say that. Well, I think he loves to hear the same. And if you're complaining, you're spending too much money on that, you're spending too much time on that, whatever, that's what you're going to keep seeing, and you're not going to see the good things that's happening. But if you say, you are such a good provider,
mm-hmm.
And you are so good at that, I would like to learn it. Focusing on what you want more of from them, you'll get more of it.
And it's also communicating that to the person of, this is what I am wanting more of. Like, oh, I really loved hearing that from you last week. It made me feel so much better. It made me feel closer to you. It's communicating what you want to see. You will see more of that.
Absolutely.
And if you just communicate the negative, then it's going to change the tone of the situation.
And you want to have, okay, how many of you have ever walked in a mom and pop store and they were constantly bickering and throwing darts at one another with words? And it was an uncomfortable place to be.
Yeah. You wanted out.
Yeah.
You didn't want to come back.
And we have employees. I know you have at least one employee.
Well, we contract with people.
You have people that, and you don't want people coming in and going, they're such horrible people.
No.
You want to say, that is such a fun atmosphere to be in. And one of the best compliments people pay us as a married couple is, I want a marriage like yours.
Oh, yeah.
And we want people to stay married and be happy in their relationship because it's a great place to be.
Mm-hmm.
We said the only difference between us and every one of our friends that aren't together anymore is we didn't give up.
Yeah.
We just kept going. So this last one applies to every relationship. And here it is. Assume that their intentions are good.
Mm-hmm.
Assume that they have the best intent for you. Talk about that in you guys' life.
I think that's important to life in general. But one of the things that I would add to this with working together as spouses is that your marriage has to come first, and that has to be for both of you, whoever your spouse is, and yourself, and just to know that the business is secondary. It's your relationship that comes first, and it's the marriage that's at the heart of it. And so you can't let problems in business or complications occur in businesses, interfere with your relationship.
Right.
And so with that, I think, as you work together on a daily basis, yes, and assume the best intent. We're all going to mess up. We're going to miss things. Or we're going to drop a ball. We're not going to be paying attention, looking the other way, and something's going to, come at us, as a surprise. And so we have to work through it. We have to talk through it. And that's where humor comes back in.
Yes.
I mean, because really life is hard. Business is hard. The majority of businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Yes.
And so if you're starting out a new business together, just know that you're going to be challenged, and laugh about it and try to be creative on how you climb over those challenges. But if you think that other person's trying to sabotage you or your business, then that's not going to be helpful. And I think it's not for everybody to work together.
I agree.
I got really tickled at the comments on your thread when you announced this topic. Somebody's like, me and my husband, we didn't last 3 weeks together, and that's funny because they're a great couple and a great relationship, but they just recognize that, this is not for us. But I have had so many people that I know who work together who you'd never know they were a family run business. And they talk about what a blessing it is to be able to work for one another, just the flexibility, the humor, that it works super well. And for us, I'd say we fall in that category. I'm like, I don't want to go to work for someone else again, because this is a great fit for us as a couple.
Yeah. All those reasons we talked about in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you just really have to make decisions as a couple, and you have to make decisions individually that you're going to make it work. Right. And laugh a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to think that when you're fighting, that things are that they're out to get you, mm-hmm. or that there's some motive under there, but it's not. Assume they have the best intentions. That most of the time when Roger is talking to me about something that's getting my shackles up. I don't know what the right word is. He gets me stirred up. His intent is to help me grow as a person. I'm just not taking it right.
Yeah.
And so when I shift to, okay, he has my best in mind, so I need to pull back and really listen. Mm-hmm. Then I can take that in. It's hard when you're a married couple to work together and to help each other grow at the same time. But if you find that nice place, man, the benefits of working as a family are huge.
Yeah. And it's fun for us. We've enjoyed it. It's been easier. It's been like when it feels like a natural fit, you're in the right place. And I would say that's where we are with our business. It's been a good fit for everyone involved. And that was unexpected. Like we didn't know how that was going to work. I always kept in the back of my mind, I can go get a job.
And that is, you keep it in mind.
But no, this has been great.
These benefits, and it's so wonderful. And you're growing something that's going to change your family. Mm-hmm. Roger and I started our real estate business 3 years ago. We're in our 4th year now. And we started it because both of our other businesses were doing okay, and we wanted to do something together. And that first year was so hard, but we grew together so much, and now, when we started it, we said that we want this to be a family business. And if our kids want to join us, we want them to be able to join us. And we want it to be something that'll be a legacy for our family. Well, our son has joined our company now, and he's working with us. And eventually, we hope that Rachel will come and be a part of it too. The reason I'm wearing this shirt is because, let's see.
Go Chiefs.
Yeah, let me. Kansas City was in the Super Bowl yesterday, in case you're watching this later in the year, and they won. And I'm not a Kansas City Chief fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. But my son has always been a Kansas City fan for his whole life. And so he's so excited that they won yesterday. So I wore one of his shirts today to help him keep
Support
celebrating.
the team.
Well, I knew he'd be surprised when Mom walked in the day after the Super Bowl with a shirt on, and he had a big smile on his face. So, yeah, it was fabulous. So, well, thank you for coming and being with me today. I've had so much fun, and we have fun like this every Monday. So we'll be back here next Monday with the best year ever. And my guest next week is Shelby Joyner. We're going to be talking about life balance with your sweetheart and with your family. We want to talk about how to make sure that you balance out your work and your family. We talked about that a little bit today, but that's going to be big next week. I'm Judy Best with iRealty Arkansas. I'd love to help you buy or sell a home. That's what I do, and I can't wait to see you guys again next week. If you have enjoyed this, please drop a GIF down below and let us know you were here. We'll talk to you again. Have a great day. Bye.